Hey there, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something pretty amazing. How the food on your plate can fight a hidden fire that might be simmering inside your body. Let's jump right in.
So just think about this for a second. What if your everyday meals are actually making this invisible fire worse? Now, I'm not talking about the kind of inflammation you get from a sprained ankle. That's the good kind, the healing kind. We're talking about something way sneakier.
And yeah, this is the real villain of the story, chronic inflammation. It's not a big blaze, it's more like a low, steady smolder that just never goes out. And over the years, that constant stress on your system can lead to some really serious health problems. It's the slow burn we really need to watch out for.
But, and this is the best part, you are not helpless here, not at all. In fact, probably the most powerful fire extinguisher you have is sitting right in your kitchen, your food. That is your toolkit for building a stronger, calmer, healthier body.
So let's build out that toolkit, shall we? First up on our all-star shopping list are the omega-3 powerhouses. You can think of these as the frontline firefighters, cooling things down right at the cellular level.
What's so great about this is the variety. I mean, you've got your heavy hitters like salmon and sardines, which are just packed with those amazing omega-3s. But you also have fantastic plant-based options. Walnuts deliver a 1-2 punch of omega-3s and antioxidants, and things like chia and flax seeds, they bring in a crucial dose of fiber on top of everything else.
Okay, next, let's call in the defense. Let's talk about the antioxidant champions. If omega-3s put out the fire, think of these guys as the bodyguards for your cells, protecting them from damage.
And this is where fighting inflammation gets really, really delicious. Berries are just loaded with antioxidants, these little molecules that shield your cells from harm. And dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, they're full of vitamins, sure, but they're also packed with something called phytonutrients, which is just a fancy way of saying special plant compounds that help calm your whole system down.
Now for the fun part. Let's talk about the foods that add a serious kick to your meals and a powerful punch to inflammation. It's time for the flavorful fighters.
This is where your spice rack really becomes your medicine cabinet. Turmeric gets its power from a compound called curcumin. That's the anti-inflammatory superstar. Ginger has been used forever to soothe the body. And tomatoes are an incredible source of lycopene, a potent antioxidant that gives them that bright red color.
All right, next up, let's look at a few simple things you probably already have that can make a huge difference. Let's talk pantry essentials.
These are honestly two of the easiest swaps you can make. Start using extra virgin olive oil as your go-to fat, and you're getting a steady stream of healthy fats. And try swapping just one of your usual drinks for a cup of green tea. You'll be flooding your system with these amazing anti-inflammatory compounds. So simple, but so effective.
Okay, so we have our all-star team of foods, but what if I told you that you could make them even more powerful? This is where we get into the pro-level strategies, unlocking food power-ups with some smart kitchen pairings.
You have to see this. That powerful compound in turmeric, curcumin, well, our bodies actually have a pretty tough time absorbing it by itself. But, and this is amazing, when you add just a little bit of black pepper, the absorption goes through the roof. It's an incredible example of food synergy. A simple crack of pepper makes your turmeric so much more effective.
And here's another fantastic one. Raw tomatoes are great, don't get me wrong, but when you cook them, especially with a healthy fat like olive oil, you actually make that powerful antioxidant, lycopene, way more available for your body to use. So that delicious tomato sauce you're making, it's basically a health-boosting powerhouse.
So we've covered a ton of incredible foods, but now I want to share what is, without a doubt, the most important takeaway from all of this. Because the real secret weapon, it isn't any one of these single items.
And this is it. This is the crucial point. You can't just eat a handful of blueberries and expect a miracle if the rest of your diet isn't on the same team. The real magic isn't in one ingredient. It's in the overall pattern of how you eat.
Let's just think of it like this. You're not looking for one superstar player. You're trying to build a championship team. It's the combined, consistent effort of all these anti-inflammatory foods working together day after day that truly puts out the fire.
So there you have it. You've got the playbook, you've got the all-star players, and you've even got the pro-level power-ups. The only question left is, what's the first all-star you're going to add to your plate?
All right, let's talk about gut health. If you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by all the advice out there, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to cut through the noise. We'll look at 10 really fantastic foods for your gut, and more importantly, put them into a super simple framework that you can actually use. let's get into it. You know, it seems like every day there's some new diet or supplement that promises to fix your gut. But what if the answer isn't that complicated? What if your gut doesn't want some magic pill? It really just comes down to a few basic things that your digestive system needs to thrive. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the foundation, what I call the big three. Then we'll build on that with two key pillars, adding friendly bacteria and then feeding them the right kind of fuel. And finally, we'll tie it all together into a practical blueprint for you.
Okay, let's start with the absolute fundamentals. Gut health can seem like this big, mysterious thing, but honestly, it boils down to just three core parts that need to work together.
I want you to picture your gut as a busy little factory. The friendly bacteria? They're your workers doing all the important jobs. The fiber? Well, that's the fuel they need to keep the factory running. And fluids, water. That's the transportation system, making sure everything moves along just like it should. So these three things are basically the pillars holding up your entire gut health structure. First, you need the workers themselves, the good bacteria. Second, you have to feed those workers. And third, you gotta keep the whole system hydrated. For today, we're gonna focus on the two pillars you can really nail with your food choices, the bacteria and their fuel. All right, let's get into our first pillar. This one is all about probiotics, which is just a fancy word for those beneficial microbes. Think of it as recruiting more of the good guys and sending them straight into your gut's ecosystem. And one of the absolute best ways to do this is with fermented foods. We're gonna look at three fantastic options right here. First up, good old yogurt. Now, the key thing you gotta look for on the label is the phrase, live in active cultures. That's your guarantee that you're actually getting a solid dose of beneficial bacteria to support your gut. And then we've got kefir. I kind of think of it as yogurt's super-powered, drinkable cousin. It is absolutely packed with a huge variety of probiotics, which makes it a super easy and really effective way to boost your gut health. And we can't forget about fermented veggies like sauerkraut and kimchi. They're not just delicious, they add a ton of diversity to your gut bacteria. Oh, and a little pro tip here. You want to grab the unpasteurized kind from the refrigerated section to make sure you're getting all those live bacteria. Okay, so we've brought in the good guys. Now what? Well, we gotta feed them. And that brings us right to pillar 2, fiber fuel. This is the stuff your gut microbes absolutely thrive on, especially something called prebiotic fiber. Now, if you're new to this whole fiber thing, or if your system's a little sensitive, you'll want to start gentle. And oats, apples, and bananas are perfect for that. They're really easy on the digestive system. Think about oats. They're full of something called soluble fiber, which forms this kind of gel in your gut. It helps with digestion, keeps you regular, and can even help with cholesterol. It's just a fantastic, gentle way to kick off your day. You know that old saying, an apple a day? Well, there's a lot of truth to it for your gut. A big reason is a fiber called pectin, which is found mostly in the skin. Pectin is a prebiotic, which means it literally feeds your good gut bacteria. And bananas, especially the ones that are still a little bit green. They're packed with what we call prebiotic fiber. And this really gets to the heart of pillar 2. You're not just eating for you, you're eating for the trillions of little workers inside you. Okay, so once your gut gets used to those gentler fibers, it's time to level up. Think of these foods as the heavy hitters, the ones that deliver a serious dose of fiber for your microbes. Lentils and beans, these are a total double win. You get a huge amount of fiber that your gut microbes go crazy for, plus you get a fantastic source of plant-based protein. It's a no-brainer. Now, chia seeds are super interesting. When you mix them with liquid, they form this gel. That might sound a little weird, but that property is amazing for adding bulk and helping keep everything moving through your digestive system nice and smoothly. And for flax seeds, here's the deal, and this is really important. They have to be ground. Your body just can't break down the whole seeds, so by grinding them, you unlock all that amazing fiber and those healthy omega-3 fats. And last but not least, if you really want to treat your gut bacteria, we're talking about asparagus and artichokes. These veggies are loaded with specific prebiotic fibers that your microbes consider an absolute feast. All right, we've talked about the two big food pillars, adding the good bacteria and then feeding them with fiber. Now let's wrap this all up with one super important rule to make sure this all works for you. Okay, listen up, because this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. If you suddenly go from 0 to 100 with fiber, you might feel, well, a little uncomfortable. The key is to go slow. Increase your fiber bit by bit over a few weeks. And as you add more fiber, you absolutely have to drink more water. Remember that third pillar, the fluids? They're what helps the fiber do its job properly.
So that's the blueprint, really. Populate your gut with good bacteria, fuel them with fiber, and keep everything moving with plenty of water. It's a simple approach, but it is so powerful. So the only question left is, which pillar are you going to start building first? Thanks for joining me.